So if you collect merchandise of something, chances are you're pretty patient. Making a piece of merchandise takes a lot of time, effort, money, etc. Companies can't just release new stuff every week. It has to be pitched, greenlit, conceptualized, planned, prototyped, etc. There's also the problem of characters no longer being important or marketable to companies. Why make an obscure character that not everyone knows when you could just make a figure of one of the main characters and guarantee success? For most companies, it's not worth the risk. Point is, companies can't just make anything they want whenever they want. They have to abide by guidelines and rules from the parent company. So if you want merchandise of your favorite character, you may be out of luck. But that's where custom merchandise comes in. Custom merch is exactly what it sounds like. Someone making their own / customizing official merchandise into something completely different. It's a super huge thing, with people even selling and commissioning ones to make money. Customs allow for forgotten characters to finally get representation, even if the big bad corporations don't want them to. So I thought, let's take a look at some of the best customs and best artists from our Lord and Savior, Sonic the Hedgehog. Without any further ado, let's go. Oh yeah, and all the pictures and credit goes to the artists, of course. Let's start out with someone I've actually known about for a while now, that being Wake Angel 2001. I've seen his customs for years now, and they're easily some of the best I've ever seen. Like, look at all these, it's incredible. There are so many, so let me just go through a bunch of them. Cream in Jack Specific style, Dr. Starline, Rouge, Sonic from SA2 using the snowboard from the Jax figure, Sally, Sad AM Sally, Marine the Raccoon, Mephiles, Rouge in her hero clothes, this absolutely incredible Gamma, a giant-ass Death Egg robot, Dave from Sonic Boom, Metal Knuckles, Emerald, Cosmo, and this absolute beast, King Arthur. Like, this is one of the best figures I've ever seen. And it's huge too, it scales with the Jazzwares 3-inch line greatly. But hands down, the best ones I think he ever made were Tangle and Whisper. These two are absolutely perfectly accurate and look like they'd be official figures, they're that good. Plus Whisper has a felt coat and Tangle has a little pipe cleaner for her tail, meaning it can bend like in the comics. Oh yeah, and I forgot, a lot of what he makes are commissions, so you can pay him to make basically any character you want. Interesting. Another artist whose work I remember is Hyper Shadow 92. He makes figures similar to Wake Angel, but specializes in Jazzwares, and in my opinion, crazier characters. Like, most of these are characters that aren't even canon. He's made stuff like Classic Shadow, Shattuck, which I guess is just Sonic and Shadow combined, plus Hyper Shattuck, Knuckles from the Archie Comics 30 years later arc, so Knuckles 30 years older, Farm Knuckles.
Sorry, English, but if I don't plant this sorghum now, there'll be no sorghum cakes come winter. We're burning daylight! Yeah!
An amazing 5-inch figure of Scourge, complete with a new expression, as well as Scourge having a felt sweater. A modern take on Sonya from Sonic Underground with a custom design. A simple but dope-ass Soap Sonic. King Shadow from the Archie Comics. Another Mephiles, complete with no legs, but he can still stand somehow. This phenomenal Honey the Cat, which uses Blaze as a base. Free Riders Amy, Terios, what people call the original concept design of Shadow, I guess. And it goes on, but wanted to keep my favorite for last, Nazo. Yup, Nazo from the original canned pilot for Sonic X. The fact that the Sonic community birthed a custom figure of a cancelled form for Sonic from an obscure pilot on a TV show really says something, but he also made Hyper Perfect Nazo, a fan-made character that's basically just Super Nazo, as well as this one called Cyber Nazo. Wait, I've seen him before. That's that bootleg Sonic Lego figure I have. Turns out this isn't some weird take on Metal Sonic like I thought. This was based off of this Sonic fan character. Weird. So those were two of the big heavy hitters I've seen make Sonic customs, so now let's go on to a bunch of others. These aren't really going to be in any order, these are just some random specific figures or sets I wanted to mention. Note that these are way less documented, so the image quality may be a little iffy here. Firstly, there's this custom Jazzwares Sonic movie figure by El Aso. He gave him 2 eyes, a rough fur texture, quills, Puma shoes, and a 7th spike. But on top of that, he turned Tommy's classic Sonic into Baby Sonic. He has all the details just like Teen Sonic, and he even has the raggedy shoes, unlike Jax's official merch. Speaking of Jax, here's a set of Freedom Fighters in Jax scale by Art King 3000. They're all scaled great with the official ones. I really think they look great next to each other. Plus, he also made a figure of Cosmo in Jax scale, who I think looks better than the Freedom Fighters in my opinion. And there's this figure of Nazo too, because why not? And finally, a figure of Wake Angel's avatar. What a small world. Also, he made a figure of OG Kermit the Frog from the Wilkins coffee ad. I found this Jazzwares Eggomatic by Strap 3.0. It was apparently made from Easter egg parts, and it can even light up. It's got a stand, plus it has the Wrecking Ball from Sonic 1. But he doesn't just make accessories, he makes papercraft playsets. He made the Tornado for Jazzwares Tails, Green Hill for Sonic, and even Hidden Palace Zone from Sonic 3 for Knuckles. It even has all the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emeralds all perfectly aligned. If only Jax were to make it or something. Also, while I'm editing this, I found he made a huge-ass chemical plant as well as a huge-ass marble zone. I mean, look at this, the blocks in chemical plant even move up and down. Here's 3 items from the games made by Mew14. First, there's this dope clay-made dash pad. Again, sorry for the low quality, this is the best image I could find. It seems to be inspired by SA2, just like this figure of one of the watches that stops time in Canon Core in SA2. Specific, but awesome. And finally, this Adventure Era style item capsule, which I think looks really cool. Then we get on to this behemoth, a Sonic mech. Cody Koala turned the Jazzwares 10-inch classic Sonic figure into a giant robot. The detail here is astounding. Like, look at all the rust and the faded colors, as well as all the bolts holding them together. But the best part is that his head opens up and the 3-inch figure can fit inside like he's controlling it. What a cool concept. He also made a Luigi mech, but f*** Luigi. Here's a weird one. Customized Barbie dolls into Merlina from Sonic and the Black Knight, Shara from Secret Rings, and Madonna, Sonic's scrapped love interest from Sonic 1. I mean, good idea, I guess. I highly doubt we're gonna get any merch of Merlina or Charla anytime soon, unless they're gonna make a plush or something by GE. Actually, that's a good idea. But yeah, super creative. Also, adding in this part later, I found they also made Elise and Maria. Like, okay, cool. Also, here's a custom made by Dustin Lee Artry of Evil Sonic from the Archie series that uses the Joyride Sonic figure as a base. I'm gonna have a word with him. So that wraps up our look at fan-made Sonic figures. Now let's hop on over to the fan-made plushes. I have a lot less knowledge with these, but I do know one custom plush maker, that being Lita Michelle. She makes absolute gems of plushes and makes commissions on all Japanese UFO catcher style plushes. And for every plush, if you want one, they're all on her website. First, there's this amazing looking Infinite with a removable mask. I love how fuzzy it is, it really makes them look unique. One thing you'll see with a lot of these is the use of metallic materials, and it looks awesome. Like on this metal Sonic. It really sells it and doesn't peel away like the Fighters one. Here's a normal Sonic that's dressed up to be Excalibur Sonic. This is one of my favorites. He has great materials and a shine that really makes him look accurate, and he's even got a cape. Then she made Manic, Sonia, and Sonic's mom, who I don't know the name of, from Sonic Underground. Silver, who pulls off this metallic look leagues better than the Kelly toy plush. Oh yeah, and I forgot, these all have custom tags. It really makes them feel high quality. Moving on, there's Scourge, who is my favorite so far since he has real goggles on him, as well as a scar and a jacket. Chip, who I think works out really well in this style. The Chaotix with Vector, who has individual teeth and a tongue. Bokun, who I think looks way cooler than the real deal from the Sonic X Japanese UFO Catcher plush set. But if you don't want to pay that much, you could always get one of these fuzzy Chow plushes. But on the opposite end, you could pay for this behemoth known as Omega, made out of leather and is a foot tall, complete with red shiny eyes. This phenomenal Sir Percival plush with amazing details and armor. Not gonna lie, I kinda want it. She made all the Deadly Six, so you can finally have a little Master Zik in your life. But my favorite one has to be this Cubot plush. Orbot and Cubot are severely underrated, so it's nice that Cubot here looks phenomenal. He looks like an actual robot, and his expression is perfectly accurate to the character. Moving on, some of the most fan-favorite characters from the franchise are the Chow. They've become staples of the franchise just because of how much people love them, despite them barely even making appearances in games now. So that makes all the custom Chow plushes made by artists amazing. Given how there's so many different Chow designs, it makes sense why there would be so many. For example, there's Tiny Angel Wings. She makes all kinds of them, but mostly Chow based off the main cast. Do you want a plush of a Chow that looks like Silver? Of course you do. Here, you can get basically anything you want turned into a Chow. You know what? Screw eating. I need Lightning McQueen turned into a Chow pronto. A ka-chow, if you will. She is a bit pricey, but you get what you paid for. A great quality plush. But that's not even it. There are so many more Chow plushes out there. Just search Chow plush on Etsy and you'll find tons of awesome stuff. Like this awesome crochet one made by Sonterra's World. I like him. He really benefits from the spherical design. Spherical. Plus he comes in all different colors. Also on Etsy I found this and I want it. So now we're at the point for just the random plushes I found, and we'll start with someone I found called Victim Red. They've made a lot of Adventure Era characters and they all look absolutely dope. Like this 15-inch E100 Alpha, Maria, who I just want so I can reenact the death scene. Then others like Omega, Styx, Zoe, Samus. Then I found a plush of Fleetway Supersonic made by Lee Chiba. He has these spikes that are even smaller spikes on top of his spikes, and they make him look like he has crab claws and it looks awesome. I'm surprised it took this long to get to a Tails doll, but here he is, made by So Soft Paws. There are a lot of Tails doll plushies, but I think this one looks the most accurate. Plus he has this zipper on his back that looks absolutely awesome. Here's this jaw-dropping custom plush of a life-size Cosmo. It goes with a Chris Thorndike cosplay and it works great. She's made out of wireframe so she can pose. The artist Prairie Squid is an absolute Giga Chad. They even used all different materials instead of just using felt or something. Here's a simple but cool Namco Sonic with black Black Knight Sonic's Gauntlet made by Ray Logan. It was made with crochet and I think it worked out really well. It makes him look charming. Here's an odd one, a Sonic puppet. This was a commission made by James Kemp in 2016 and it is incredible. You can go on his website and find all different behind the scenes photos of its production if you want. Plus he spent $100 on a Jazzwares 10-inch modern Sonic figure only to take it apart and use it as reference, so yeah. Now we're done with the figures and plushes, but there's still one more thing I'd like to go through. One of the most popular and time-consuming things to make of a franchise is a full cosplay of it, and Sonic is in no shortage. First, let's start with this amazing one of the Lady of the Lake by Scourge the Hedgehog on Amino. Like, is this legal? Look at every detail here made to perfection. The gloves, the hair, the expression, everything is perfect. They even made Caliburn to go with it. Also, I love the fuzzy texture on the head, it really sells it. Plus, apparently they even won first place at the convention it was worn at. Next up is this piece of absolute perfection by Yuriko Tiger. This is a full suit of Sonic that has some amazing proportions and craftsmanship like I've never seen before. Plus, as you can see, it resembles the Adventure era Sonic rather than the more modern one, which I think makes it look a lot more unique. Then we have this set of Sonic, Sir Percival, and Sir Lancelot. These don't really have an artist to credit, these were just photos that were taken and spotted in the wild. And of course, while I'm editing this, I found all the names, so here they are. Sonic here is pretty simple, but I think it works out really well. He's basically just a blue t-shirt and some blue pants, but I think it makes him look super charming and cool. I don't know why, but it just kind of seems to fit Sonic's personality. But Lancelot and Percival look dope. They're made out of mostly foam, and it gives them this kind of untextured look, which I think looks super clean. Plus, they made this awesome flag to carry around with a little Jazzwares Sonic plush at the top. The flag has all the emblems of the characters, and I mean, it's beautiful, man. Speaking of Black Knight, here's Excalibur Sonic. This is by far the most in-depth one so far. There are so many details, but overall this thing's a beast. It's got the cape, the spikes, the sword. It even has this visor you can lift up and see Sonic's head underneath. Plus all the silver parts were given a metallic shine. Absolutely dope. Unfortunately though, the convention this one was brought to only brought home a second place trophy. Can we get an F in chat, boys? But here's an even doper one. Sonic Ice Cream. Someone made a giant head of the Blue Bunny Sonic Ice Cream bar, and it's amazing. I couldn't find who did it, but they did great. They even put all the eyes f***ed up like the original. Plus, they gave him a derpy-ass, beautiful smile. After that, I wanted to find an Eggman cosplay, so I just googled Eggman Cosplay, and I was not disappointed. Here's another unnamed one that has the Wrecking Ball accessory from Sonic 1, even though it's modern Eggman, but it's still cool. I'm pretty sure it's made out of a painted toy leg iron. You know, those ones they use in prison. I like to imagine this guy running around and whacking people with it for some reason. Then I found this one with no owner, a big-ass mustache, as well as a Sonic puppet. Wait, I've seen this one before. That's the Sonic puppet from earlier. I found this image on complete chance, but what are the odds? I guess we know where it went, though. What a small world. So that wraps up our search for the internet's best and most bizarre Sonic customs. There are truly some talented people out there, and I wanted to document the best of the best. However, I'm forgetting something. What about the customs I've made? Yup, I make custom Sonic figures. Were you surprised? Yeah, I made a Hoopa in the Clash of Ages reference. What are you gonna do about it, punk? It's just a hobby of mine. I know they don't look the best, so don't be too hard on them. I just make them for fun. Starting out, we have this first custom I made, this one of Sonic from SA2. I had an extra one when Tomy re-released him with Zavik and Infinite, so I thought screw it. Now, gonna be honest here, this one's not the best. All I did was use some vinyl to make the accessories, which makes it impossible to see any real detail. Then I covered his buckle with some and put some on the opposite ends of the buckle to simulate soap shoes. And finally, the details on the back, and they just kind of look too blocky. But if I'm being honest, I think he looks kind of humble looking. Yeah, I didn't try to add his details, but I think it worked out, and it makes him look a little interesting at least. So then we go on to the next one I made. 2 years later, Tails doll. All of the next ones are Jack specific, since they love re-releasing their figures every 2 seconds. But yeah, just like SA2 Sonic, this is all vinyl. But I think it kind of works here. I rubbed off his paint, then put all the pieces on, including a bunch of little strands to simulate stitches. Then I cut off his bangs and used 2 of them to make the little 2 tufts of hair he has, and then added the gem. I think the gem actually looks pretty good, and I genuinely do not remember how I got it this cube-shaped. In fact, all I remember from making that was me struggling to make it look cube-shaped. But the main problem with this guy is that he's still modern Tails at the end of the day. I like him, but there really was no way to make him look like Tails doll, at least for me. So then we move on to one I'm sure some of you know, Joker Sonic. For my 500 subscriber special, I made the scene from the 2019 Joker movie where Murray gets shot in the head using stop-motion Sonic figures. So what did I need to do? Customize Jack Sonic into a killer clown man. And it was actually pretty simple. I just painted on his face, which was rather precise, then his hair, which is basically just Sonic with green spikes. But the hard part though was the shirt. I cut out and glued together felt permanently, like this thing ain't coming off without getting cut. Plus I had to give him little holes where his spikes and tail could go through on the back. If I'm being honest, I think he looks pretty good. Plus he got to shoot Tails in the head, which is always a plus. But now we get on to my final one. The greatest creation I will ever make. The Electric Hedgehog Pokemon, Sonichu. A few months ago, I stumbled across Gibby's Chris Chan Iceberg video, and from that point on, I was hooked. Chris Chan's life is one of the most interesting things I've ever seen. I started watching Gibby's weekly updates, the Geno Samuel documentaries, and reading the Quickie. But after a while, this wasn't gonna cut it anymore. Just watching stuff about him wouldn't satisfy me. I needed to be a part of Christery myself. So I tweeted at him, asking if he's the god of all fictional characters, could he tell us what was in the FNAF 4 box? Yeah, he thinks that he's the god of all fictional characters, and there's an alternate dimension where Sonichu and all fictional characters live, which he is like the god of. Don't ask, but he never responded. Mission failed. Then a few weeks later, I had another idea. If all fictional characters live in harmony in the alternate dimension of C197, do all of them have jobs, like does Shadow work at McDonald's or something? No response. Mission failed. I was running out of options and needed to act quick. So when I picked up the latest wave of Jack Sonic figures and I had an extra Sonic because I needed the purple Chaos Emerald, I hatched a plan. I created a custom figure of the man himself and tweeted it out. The next day, I awoke to this. He liked it. I repeat, he liked it. Mission accomplished! I officially became part of Christery because I said so. And on top of that, Helena retweeted it, but I don't feel like explaining who Helena is, so moving on. So moving on to the actual figure, I kinda like him. Now, there is a pretty big elephant in the room, that being that I ran out of paint so I couldn't do all the layers I needed to. But whatever. His cheeks are just simple marker, and his shoes were depainted and repainted to the Sonichu footwear. I gave him 2 little brown lines on his back, and then gave him the ears and the tail. I had this Pikachu figure that was also coincidentally made by Jack, so it scaled perfectly. So I bought another one on eBay, and when it arrived, I cut off its ears and its tail, and I hot glued them to this mofo. So actually, I did have to cut off Sonic's ears and tail to do this, so yeah. I also cut myself twice, but that's unrelated. So yeah, all in all, I really like him. For a figure that was basically made as a joke, I think he's pretty cool looking. So that really does mark the end of our look for the best Sonic customs ever made, mine included. Everything we looked at here just truly shows how dedicated this community is. Like, name another community that someone would dress up like a popsicle in. And I mean, yeah, it sucks we rarely get merchandise of a lot of characters from the franchise, but really, that's what makes customs so great. When a character has nothing, leave it to the fans to make it themselves. When you don't have to abide by guidelines or rules, the sky's the limit. Plus, a lot of people make their livings off of stuff like this. A lot of the people I mentioned in this video are still online and offer commissions on basically anything you want. So if you like something here, go for it. Also, adding in this part later, tell me what you guys think are some of the best Sonic customs. Like, right as I'm saying this, I found this guy on Twitter called Vegamigo, which, like, dear lord. My point is, Sonic customs will always be amazing and charming for many years to come. Also, you guys want to see what Pikachu looks like without his ears or tail? Jesus!